Today's video, we're going to be going over another practice exam question so that we can get you ready to go in there and pass these exams. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's jump into it. A social worker is meeting with an 18-year-old college student due to her difficulty adjusting to living on campus. The client reports often isolating within her dorm and frequently declining invitations from her roommates to hang out. The client believes she is inferior to her peers and inept. What is the client's most likely diagnosis? A, bipolar disorder. B, avoidant personality disorder. C, social anxiety disorder. Or D, generalized anxiety disorder. Pause the video, take a second, reread the question, reread through the answer choices, pick your best answer, and then unpause the video and we'll jump into the explanation. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the explanation. If you picked B, avoidant personality disorder, you are correct. But first, we're going to jump into why A, bipolar disorder, is the incorrect answer. Bipolar disorder, which is A, is incorrect. Why? Bipolar disorder defining symptom is mania. Nothing in the question highlights possible mania. So when we're reading through this, right, and we're saying like, oh, right, could it possibly be bipolar? We want to know about bipolar, whether it's bipolar 1 or 2. And we know a needed characteristic is the mania, elevated mood, doing things of that nature. There's nothing in that question stem that speaks to that. So that's why bipolar would not be the most likely diagnosis. And let's skip. And when we look at B, avoidant personality disorder, now this can be a bit tricky, right? Because avoidant personality disorder and social anxiety disorder, they can mirror each other a bit. With avoidant personality disorder, too sensitive to criticism or rejection, feeling inadequate, inferior, or unattractive, avoidance of work activities that require interpersonal contact, socially inhibited, timid, and isolated, avoiding new activities or meeting strangers, fear of disapproval, embarrassment, or ridicule. And we may say, wait a second, right? Hold on 1 second. That looks like a lot like social anxiety disorder. How can we really know the difference? And actually, let's skip a bit. Persistent, and this is social anxiety disorder, persistent, intense fear or anxiety about specific social situations because you believe you may be judged negatively, embarrassed, or humiliated. Avoidance of anxiety producing social situations or enduring them with intense fear or anxiety. Excessive anxiety that's out of proportion to the situation. Anxiety or distress that interferes with your daily living. And fear or anxiety that is not better explained by a medical condition, medication, or substance abuse. So when we read them, we may say, wait, that's really similar, right? That's really similar. Here's the defining features, though. People with avoidant personality disorder have lower self-esteem / self-worth, while someone with social anxiety can have a healthy self-esteem about themselves. Inept means having or showing no skill or clumsy. So think about that for a second, right? Where someone with the social anxiety disorder, they're more so thinking about the situation, the setting as a whole, and yes, how they'll respond to the situation and how the situation, the people within the environment will perceive them. But when it comes to avoidant personality disorder, there's that bit of them looking at themselves as less than. And I put here for avoidant personality disorder, believes they are less than as a person, distorted self-image. Whereas social anxiety disorder can still have a solid self-esteem and does not view themselves as inferior to others, but more so anxious about, again, the social setting, the situation, the environment itself, and how they will do in that social situation / environment. And I actually put a link. I have a link down in the description if you want to read an entire article about it that also speaks to the differences and how to really differentiate. But in short, it really comes down to that distorted self-image for avoidant personality disorder that that one has within themselves. They believe that they're less than, right? With social anxiety, they're more so focused on the setting as a whole, not so much as looking at themselves like with low self-esteem, low confidence. Now they may think like, oh man, I'm not as confident of being in the situation, but I'm not looking at myself like I'm less than as a person. Whereas avoidant personality disorder, it speaks to that. You're looking at yourself as, again, when we go up to inept, means having or showing no skill, clumsy, right? You're really looking at yourself and not the best light, more so than just the situation, the social situation as a whole. And when we scroll down and look at generalized anxiety disorder, again, remember the time frame of 6 months. Now, the exam is not necessarily always going to say, oh, it's been 6 months. It's been 6 months, so I know 100%. But we definitely want to pay attention to the time frame. But with generalized anxiety disorder, they talk about interrupted sleep right here, difficulty sleeping due to trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, restlessness at night or unsatisfying sleep, increased muscle aches or soreness, irritability, impaired concentration or feeling as though the mind goes blank, tiring easily, more fatigue than usual, edginess or restlessness. And remember, the question asks, scrolling back up to the top, what is the client's most likely diagnosis? Where someone may say, oh, Ray, could they possibly have generalized anxiety disorder? Maybe, but with the information provided within the question itself, there's a better answer, one that stands out more than the others. Because again, bipolar disorder, the main shining feature, shining symptom for that is mania. Nothing in this question mentioned spoke to mania. When we go to, again, generalized anxiety disorder, we can say, okay, well, anxiety, but again, generalized anxiety disorder. This question is focused on social settings and you see right here where social anxiety is focused on, again, social settings, interacting with other people, and how they view themselves, where the girl is speaking to, she's feeling inadequate, she's feeling inept, right? That's speaking to avoidant personality disorder. Now, if those things weren't there, where she's viewing herself in a certain light, where it's being mentioned within a question for a reason, then the answer would most likely be social anxiety, right? But because the question makes a purpose and intent to highlight those features, this is most likely exactly what it's asking, most likely the diagnosis compared to any of the other ones. And again, I'm gonna put a link in the description. So if you guys want to just kind of read through it more, a nice quick read of the article, so we can just get a bit more of an understanding of the differences between the two. But again, when it comes to avoidant personality disorder, we really want to look for that distorted self-image, how that person really views themselves. Are they like really harsh on themselves, viewing themselves as less than? Whereas with social anxiety disorder, they're more so focused on the social situation as a whole and how other people are going to respond to them. They can mirror each other, but how that person views themselves and how critical and judgmental they're being towards themselves, that's more so leading to avoidant personality disorder. Okay, guys, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with a social work friend. We don't want to be licensed by ourselves. And like I always say, you got this. We're going to keep tuning in, understanding how to break down these questions so that we can go into that exam, get licensed, and be done with this exam. All right, guys, I'll see you next video. Bye.